Oh my goodness. Dude, really? Fuck, this is a shit ass headphones, dude. I don't know why they fucking turn off automatically while they're in there. It's seriously annoying. Oh, fucking guy. There we go. Man, they obviously did something else with the designs of these cans, so now they don't really give that pop that I like. Doesn't even do that. They changed the design. Makes me sad. It's like, what if I want, you know, that little... Coming to you live from Mexican restaurant. Are you here in a restaurant? Is everyone hearing this? It'd be funny if everyone's just slowly hearing this New Jerseyan punk. Have headphones in. Aww. That would have been funny. Everyone's just like, where the fuck is that upbeat stuff coming from? Man, I'm not gonna lie, I slept like a fucking baby last night. Slept like a fucking baby. Like, went to bed around, like, I don't know, like, pretty much immediately after I had a stream, frankly, and I was just like, alright, I'm tired as fuck, you know, and was just out. I plan on streaming. Not for long. I mean, up until about, like, you know, 3:30-ish or something, less than that. I mean, it's my, like, hour stream before I go to work, basically. You know, so, just for not, like, that long, but, you know, at least get myself waked up, oriented, see what's going on for the day and all that shit. Let's see what kind of things happening here. Oh goodness. Oh. Let's see what like little fun things happen. Actually, I saw like. Not gonna watch it late now, but maybe afterward. There's like this debate, I guess, Vosh had with a weirdo about contraceptives and stuff. I have not bothered to check out any of it yet, but I am most certainly intrigued by it. Because I think, you know, we'll at least look at it tonight, but we'll at least just kind of skim through it. We're not going to look at this entire thing. I mean, it's like a 2.5 hour thing, so there ain't no way I'm looking at the entire thing. So, sometime at least during my break or some shit, I'm going to, you know, at least skim through it, find some funny parts, stuff like that. Or at least see if I find see if it's at least worth a shit to check out. But if it's like on his main channel and it's that long, then I'm assuming there has to be something. Apparently RFK Jr. is going after Jews too. Is he now doing JQ shit? Well, now, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, like, that dude probably has always been peddling that shit. Dude's like a conspiratorial fucking crank, dude. Just a nut. It's also one thing I've noticed that I find kind of curious that every time like RFK is out publicly, it's always with like right-wing pieces of shit or like conspiratorial quacks. So it's like, It's like, oh, running as a Dem, supposedly a lefty, or at least progressive or something, but you hang around with like the most right-wing fucks. It's basically just like this election cycle's Tulsi Gabbard, honestly, and it's to know that there's gonna be an occasional simp here and there, fucking like crowing about him or something. Oh my god, ugh, that's gonna be annoying. I'd rather do it Mary Ann simps because at least then, I mean, I at least can agree, kind of. What the fuck? This is why I hate landlords. Oh boy. What the fuck is a dude, I kinda can read this. I've been blowing my landlord instead of paying rent on r/confessions. So yeah, this has been going on since June of 2020 during the pandemic when I lost my job. Oh my god. Maoism intensifies. Maoism intensifies. I actually want to look at this. I want to see this, actually. I want to see some of the deets on this. We'll just leave it up. Song's getting near the end. But, my lord, dude. I like how down below it's like, I'm not exactly proud of myself, but I am happy I'm not paying rent. Like, so you're being exploited and, I mean, like, coerced for sex, basically, by your scumfuck parasite landlord. And, but the thing is, like, oh, I'm just glad I'm not paying rent. I'm not exactly proud of myself on that one. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Also, I'm listening. Oh my god. I haven't made sex joke in a while. And of course, it had to be one with someone getting coerced for sex by a landlord. It had to be one of those ones. Oh shit, hold on. I just realized that door's open. Okay, never mind, we're good. The gate's closed. When I see that door open over there, I get worried like, oh shit, he's took off and fucking walk out. But no, he didn't, he's okay. Yeah. Debbie renter. I mean, that's like, I mean, for someone like me, like, that's not exactly how it would work. Just because someone's like, you know, like a roommate with me does not mean I'm like somehow a landlord over that. I guess maybe indirectly because obviously they're giving me rent, you know, and thus I'm using that to pay for the bills of the place, but I also live here, so, I mean, if I'm a landlord, I'm also a landlord who also rents this, you know, with the same person. I mean, I'm pretty much like the only exceptional okay landlord. Like, got my own place, but every now and then let people room up with me. You know, friends and stuff like that. I'm like the rare exceptional case.
One person who is really panicking is property tycoon Samuel Leeds. Here's Mr. Leeds last year when the going was a little bit easier in the property game.
Oh, what?
Wait, so hold on. Did I just hear that this guy's a religious pastor guy, but also is a property investor?
I live in Buckinghamshire, but I invest up north. Right now we're in Huddersfield. This is Huddersfield. You buy a house here for like £80,000. You're going to rent it for £600. In London, you'll buy a house for £800,000. You're not going to rent it for 10 times the price. So you want to buy low, rent high, with a property manager nearby. People say, oh, but Samuel, I have to buy close to where I live.
So the dude is literally purposely saying, extort the fuck out of people. Extort the shit out of them and just, like, you know, price gouge the fuck out of them on rent. He's just openly admitting it. Like, this type of shit literally should be illegal. Like, oh, buy low and then rent high. It's like, that literally should be illegal. That should not be a fucking concept anyone, like, thinks about.
If there's any problems, that's not financial freedom. That's called a rope around your neck.
What is going up with his accent, by the way? He sounds like James Corden. I mean,
why does he sound Australian?
it sounds like he's got some weird mid-Atlantic twang because he's trying to appeal to US audience as well. What goes up invariably comes down, however. I'm sure your parents told you that as a kid, and guess what? They were right. Rising rates have left our TikTok property oracle in a sticky situation.
The Bank of England are absolutely
This video is quiet.
The property market right now. The housing market is on its knees. Property investment is very tough right now. And if you're anything like me and you've got a lot of houses, there's some...
investment, man, it's so tough. You know, they can't price gouge the fuck out of all these renters, I say. Man, motherfuck, dude. Like, fuck this piece of shit. Like, yeah, hearing him crow about this just makes me want to, like, smash him with a brick.
That were making me nice.
It's like, wow, it's just, like, literally the most first world bullshit problems that you could be fucking bitching about, you fucking sissy.
A couple £100 a month. Now, I'm losing money on. And it's the Bank of England.
Good. Fuck you.
So, base rate going up has screwed us all. We had properties, didn't we, Amanda? How much? We were paying, like, what, £300-400 a month? Now what we're paying?
600.
600. And what's the rent? Right. So, we were...
Man, this is making me really hate landlords even more. Like, American landlords are shit and scumbag and some parasites too, but oh my god, this British landlord is really making me just like...
300 on the interest.
It's the accent, dude. It's like... It's that, like, smug, like, I'm a landlord, you know, on top of this, like, no, I'm also just a very smug bit, you know, say. I mean, it's just like a combination of both that is just really just starting to grind my gears right now.
They're making so much money, bro.
Rate was low, interest rates were low. Now we're paying 600. The rent's only 500. What does that mean? That means that the property sucks now. Now it's not an asset, it's a liability.
It shouldn't be either. It should just be considered a roof over somebody's head, you fuckwit. Goddamn nonce.
Doom and gloom message, I think that's why. So, what's happening now is people can't afford to buy houses, and the reason they can't
because of fucking piece of shit like you.
Buy houses.
England has not fixed mortgage rates, by the way, chat. US has fixed interest rates for houses. The thing that I want to talk about here is something that people take for granted. They have this mentality, landlords, I mean, have this mentality where they think like, well, of course the government is supposed to help me out. Like, what do you mean? There is no risk, actually. This is an investment that is risk-free. You know, for a long period in history, a lot of these investments are kept risk-free by the government. So when they can't do it any longer, they can't sustain it any longer, and they change some of the finances, all of a sudden, the fiscal policy, all of a sudden, these guys are just mad that they're losing money. It's like, bro, you took the risk. Work, baby.
Yeah, like, actually do some work, little landlord bitch. Like, they literally do less work than, like, the most neediest of needs, bro. Like, I mean, fuck their asses. Like, they're the motherfucker I'd be, you know, taking the whip, be like, get to work, bitch! You know, and not just, like, any whip, but one that has, like, a little fucking hook on it or something. So, like, if it catches you, then, you know, gets ripped off of you, then it's taking a chunk of you. Good old gash.
Indeed.com. Get a fucking job. Big face. Fuck you mean. Get a job. What you're doing is
It's
not.
like, I can't just, like, you know, do nothing with my life and just make money off of other people and just, like, you know, have them, you know, like, be price gouged, you know, by the rent I've given them. I can't just, like, do anything by making money. This sucks. Ugh.
Stop. Get a fucking job. Are you a landlord? Yeah. Your mom at night when we're role playing. Which, by the way, is fucking gross. I mean, in role play situations, whatever, but did you guys see that fucking tweet from some, like, Groiper account with, like, a rose emoji on it that everyone thought was, like, a leftist? It was like, everybody wins. It was like a fucking Reddit post, which probably isn't real because nothing is real on Reddit, let's be real. I've been blowing my landlord instead of paying rent. So, yeah. This
Okay, and now we're getting to some of the juice of this. Everybody wins here. So let's saturate it. So yeah, this week going to switch up. I lost my job. Started off as a monthly thing, but I'm doing it every 2 weeks now. Not exactly proud of myself, to be honest, and I'm happy I'm not paying rent, which is ridiculously high in London anyway. Well, you shouldn't be resorting to, you know, being coerced for sex in order to fucking, you know, like, not have to worry about rent or some shit. I'm okay with sex work. I don't care about that, but, like, this isn't sex work. This is coercion. Like, this is like some, like, borderline Bill Cosby shit, practically, if not, like, the roofies.
June 2020, during the pandemic, when I lost my job. Started out as a monthly thing, but I'm doing it every 2 weeks now. Not exactly proud of myself, but to be honest, I'm happy not paying rent, which is ridiculously high in London anyway. Anyway, so yeah, this has been going on since June 2020. She started doing this during the pandemic, and this fucking dickhead goes, everybody wins here. And it's like the Chosenberg with the fucking wicked glasses. So you know it's like a fucking psychotic Groiper account. But hey, of course that's not going to stop dumb motherfuckers from going, the real extortion victim here is the landlord, but y'all ain't ready for that conversation.
What? Wait, the real exploited victim is the landlord? What the fuck does that mean? No, they're not. They're the ones doing the exploiting, you son of a bitch. They are literally exploiting the renter and the tenants by coercing them for sex in order to not have to pay their rent. What the fuck do you mean? What?
Conversation. On a serious level, assuming no coercion from the landlord beyond the inherent coercion all landlords have over all tenants.
Oh my god, don't even start with this bullshit. I mean, like, what? The Seth and Rob's scenario, unless you're a communist or whatever, you don't have to be a communist to fucking think. I'm not. Like, I'm pretty close to one, but fuck, I don't label myself as one. Close you'll get that, it's like socialist, syndicalist, lefty anarchist. I mean, you ain't really gonna get, you know, full-on commie. But even then, like, you don't have to think like a communist in order to fucking recognize that shit, you fuck.
Nothing wrong with this scenario, unless you're a communist or whatever. No, actually, as a matter of fact, there's a lot wrong with this fucking scenario. You don't have to be a communist, you're basically telling on yourself for claiming that, like, anyone who disapproves of this is just, like, a communist or whatever. Yeah,
which basically just means that I guess it's okay to force, you know, people to have sex with you for coercion as long as, you know, they can get out of doing something else that they don't want, like paying rent. So, yeah, like, basically, you know, like, basically kind of, like, coercing people to, you know, for you to rape them practically. I mean, because honestly, that's what this is. Like, it's a form of rape. And it's just like, I mean, because, you know, coercion is forcibly, you know, making someone have sex with you, but, you know, the coercion, you know, instead of just full-on, like, aggressionary assault of it, is that you're forcing them to only have that fucking option and coerce them into choosing that option or else, you know, suffering consequences. Which is the same, which is at least, you know, not too far different with, like, how someone would, you know, attempt to, you know, rape a woman and shit. Or a guy, or vice versa. Like, because there's a form of, like, element of coercion and forcibility that is making them essentially be like, no, this is your only option. I mean, it's fucked up.
Is when you consider sex under coercive conditions to be sexual assault, which is exactly what it is, by the way.
It is.
And then it's not like a special deluxe kind of exploitation. Oh, to the scrub, thank you for making commies look so good and so normal, because this is an inherently psychotic fucking thing to say. People should be more embarrassed to say stuff like this. It's also a fucking Reddit post that is most likely not real. The ridiculous thing here is looking at a fake Reddit post and then acting like it is real and then saying it's good actually when that Reddit post is basically describing coercive sex extracted from someone who relies on you for fucking shelter and making it seem like it's a good thing. It blows my fucking mind. And before people go and say, Hassan, what about sex work? I mean, that's monetary transactions. That's like offering money in exchange of like sexual acts. Yeah, exactly. You want to know the difference though? It's literally consensual. It's
yeah, that's the difference. When it comes to sex work and shit, there's that's legal, and there is at least, you know, a standard of, you know, like understanding that there is transactionary action happening, whether it's prostitution or like OnlyFans or whatever the fuck it is. You know, so when it comes to that, like, I mean, it's, you know, there's already kind of this implied, like, yeah, like, I'm consensually, you know, putting my body out there in a sexual way, and you are obviously consensually wanted to seek it out to some extent, and, you know, have a financial transaction to, you know, experience that, or in whatever way. So it's just like, I mean, it's, I mean, you know, it's not a coercionary thing unless you want to just look at the capitalistic element of it with, like, you know, monetary coercion, I suppose, but that's just literally with anything, I mean, under the current system. So, I mean, you can't just look at sex work for that.
The coercion in that circumstance is coercion that exists in every other capacity under capitalism. That's it. It's consent. In this circumstance, and that's why people in prison, in most circumstances, cannot. People, when they're imprisoned and and cops fuck them, it's called rape. And luckily, states like New York are finally catching up to that reality as of like 3 years ago, where they decided to criminalize it. You know, it's still not in 35 states, obviously, but in...
Wait, hold on, I'm gonna look at this. Nationwide problem. 35 laws in 35 states allow cops to have sex with someone in their custody. And I'm pretty sure the entire West Coast is at least not like that. Which actually, I know, yeah, Oregon definitely isn't, because there was a cop that was caught, you know, having sex with people that he was arresting / doing traffic stops with in order for them to get out of tickets and arrests. So, and this is a local Milwaukee cop. So these motherfuckers, you know, will still do this shit. It doesn't stop a cop from, you know, trying to do that, because they certainly will. But at least, you know, gives a certain level of, you know, accountability if they're caught.
The other states...
Because the Milwaukee cop that was caught doing all that shit, he is arrested. Like, he did go to prison and shit. You know, it's serving a sentence from what I understand.
Considered rape. Why? Because when you fuck your prisoner, the prisoner and their entire lives revolve around everything that you do, what your power is in that situation. How is that also not coercion when the sex worker needs the money to live? That's a great question. That level of coercion is coercion in the same exact way that you experience coercion when you choose to take a job at McDonald's. You don't want to take a job at McDonald's, but you...
Yeah, that's what I was saying from earlier. Like, the idea from, like, the financial coercion, it's like you would have to basically, you know, argue that for the entire system itself. Because there's the same degree of financial coercion when it comes to, like, hey, I need money in order to pay rent, food, and bills, yada, yada. And then, you know, it's the same kind of premise. Like, well, you know, you get a boss man or, like, you know, or a company that would, you know, be like, well, I can, you know, but not enough that you need. Just enough for where, you know, you will accept the deal, but, you know, you'll still barely survive.
At McDonald's, a lot of people at McDonald's then go on and personally choose to do sex work instead. If you were to talk to sex workers, they would tell you that they've had a significantly better time doing sex work, whether it be stripping or whether it be anything else, than working in a service sector job. That's the whole...
Because at least they have more autonomy over what they're doing with their body and their labor.
It's consent. And I'm not saying this is like, you know, sex work is all fucking peaches and roses, and it's all flowers all the way down. I'm not saying that at all. There are certainly negative aspects of sex work, as there is any other industry. And there's plenty of horrifying things that happen in the sex work industry that is unimaginably cruel and fucked up. Oftentimes it's sex trafficking and not consensual sex work, however. But there is a major distinction here. Coercion to clean the floor isn't rape. My friend, I already described to you what rape is. This is rape. I am specifically explaining to you that there is an additional level of coercion when you choose to do sex work that exists for every other job. It's cleaning the floor when you don't want to clean it, or it's fucking someone that you chose to fuck, but getting money out of that. That's it. And that's
or not having to pay rent because you don't want to necessarily have a person, but you know, it's one of those things where you're kind of forcibly coerced to do so because you don't have fucking choice, unless you want to make your life a lot more harder by having to work like 2 or 3 fucking jobs or something because you have to pay the rent. That's why it's fucked up. You know, honestly, like, I mean, no, it's honestly, it's like, oh, it's a fake story, probably isn't real, which you want, you know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't real, but that's not necessarily the point. I mean, well, at least in my mind, like, the fact is that that type of shit does happen all the time. Like, I mean, it's not like, you know, some sort of a stranger thing, you know, that's just suddenly becoming a new thing, you know, a new phenomenon. Like, that's always been a thing. And it's just going to continue to, you know, grow more as a common problem as people are unable to afford rent and shit. And then you have these landlords who are basically just fucking, like, sex pests, too, on top of that, by, like, fucking after their tenants because that's a way to, you know, skirt rent. It's like basically like a mafia sex racketeering, you know, racket at this point, you know, with at least some of them. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, it's why there needs to just be like a massive initiative for public housing and a massive initiative to at least, you know, in part nationalize housing in this country. I mean, you know, at least, you know, to a large extent, so there can at least, you know, be a guarantee there's always, you know, homes for people to at least be in. So we can at least address this fucking homeless issue and problems like that. Hey, little boob. Little ball. Sweet little Zuko. He's just adorable. Whoa. A slice of Swiss cheese that literally has a single hole. It has one hole. And you know what? There is indeed a goal. You know, I actually see that too sometimes at work. Like, you'll get like a fresh cut of, or a fresh block of Swiss cheese that hasn't been opened yet. When you start opening it up, sometimes on the end bits, you know, they don't really get all the holes yet. So every now and then you'll get like a slice of Swiss that has like maybe like one hole or like just one tiny little hole. Or a few of them. Or just like one big one. Dude, oh my god, what a fucking fruit, dude. So damn goofy. These are lazy bones. That dog truly is a lazy bones.
Need to teach him how to move.
You don't think I try? He's a lazy boy. I can't help it. I can see that door moving back and forth because he's like grooming himself or something. Man, what a silly dog. What a silly boy. Yeah. Do a little time check. It's about getting to the 30-minute mark and all that fun stuff, so probably at least, you know, get one bowl loaded, finish this coffee up, all that shit. Didn't tell about all the fun experiences at the show from yesterday. Man, last night's concert was just so fucking great. It's been a long while since I've been to a show that wasn't like a full-on metal show. Well, outside of the Fest, but I mean, outside of that, like, that had to at least been like one of the better shows. I'm so glad I got to see Safe Ferris. Like, they're honestly, at least, you know, an underrated band in my opinion. But I guess not really, because they have a lot of views on like some of their music videos and stuff like that on YouTube. So they're generally, at least, you know, were a relatively big band for a time. And I'm assuming they still are, obviously. I mean, at that show, there was a lot of young people like me, even younger, honestly. And, you know, at least 21 and over. It was a 21 and over show, so not too young. because it was at a bar. I mean, you can't really have kids there, obviously. But, so there's at least, like, a lot of young bucks, a lot of old people, too. A lot of old geezers out there, even in Bit. I love that shit. I love it when you get, like, a good variety of, like, older, medium age, and, like, younger people, at shows and stuff. Yeah, I just kind of love that, like, multi-generational diversity that happens, at some of these concerts and shows I go to. It's just good shit. I like it. These fucking flies, bro. Ugh. Starting to become Lord of Flies over here. But anyway, call it good for the rest of the afternoon. But of course, I'll be back around when I get off work. So peace out. Nice to see you all.